Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's live stream. It's late; it's on the Friday, it's on Sunday. It's only on Friday, but I do move it to Sundays when I am busy or I am away with family commitments and things happened that we couldn't have the live on Friday. So I hope everyone is keeping well. Um, Depending how many people we get in, depends how long the stream is going to be. Hello, everyone. Hello, Kenny. How are you? Army Dude. Hello, lad. How are you? Jack Brown Collection. Evening. How is everyone? Evening, darling. Hello. So that's basically what's happening. We've had some interesting developments over the week. I may possibly be going back over to England in January. It's not 100% confirmed yet, but I may be going over to Stoneleigh Military Fair that is on in England. Um, we'll have to wait and see. I'll know hopefully a bit more next month, but we'll wait and see. My MRT, hello, how are you from Sweden? And Jude, hello, how are you keeping? I hope everyone is doing well. So, what's happened during the week? We got a very interesting parcel. I can just show you here because I just have it here. I will be doing a full review on this. But this is a austerity pattern World War II battle dress uniform. Very, very good quality. I'll go into the video about it later on. It's not a sponsored video on YouTube now, so I don't have a canary. This was uh, purchased. But yeah, it's a austerity pattern jacket. I also have the pants, but it was made by a company that is on. He's a one-man show. He's on Instagram, and it's called 49240. The numbers, not the words, right? And what he does is he redoes 49 pattern battle dress into 40 pattern or battle dress surge, or he'll also make the parapants. So yeah, I'm very, very pleased with these. That's the pants, as you can see. That's the pocket. Leg in the pocket. They come in during the week. So it's ideal for what we will be doing. They will probably be getting badged up as Royal Ulster Rifles. Um, I'm looking forward to do that. There is a video done. It is edited. I know there was no videos this weekend. My mistake. I actually have them on the computer, ready to go. They're actually on YouTube. They're downloaded, they're uploaded, everything. They're ready to go. But I screwed up a small bit, and I forgot to, or I put in the wrong dates. So yeah, so that's what's happening. Um, what else are we doing? Those videos, the two videos that were supposed to be up this weekend, will be up this evening. One definitely. They'll be up this evening around 10ish, half 10, I believe. It's due to be up. We are also working on an impression for the SAS in the Falklands. Um, Very kindly been in contact with, through a friend of mine, Danny Reese from Herefordshire Regimental Museums. I've been in contact with a veteran from B Squadron, SAS, that was in the Falklands, and we're getting information. I'm getting information off of him, what he carried, what he used, and stuff like that. So hopefully it'll be very, very accurate. The parts are, I won't say they're easy to get. They're not. They're hard to get. So we're starting to collect those. We have the vast majority. We're waiting on one or two bits and pieces to arrive. So when they arrive, we'll be putting it together, and hopefully that will be a very good video. Who else have we here? David Seal. Hello, John. How are you? Very nice. Yeah, Jake. It's a very, very nice uniform. It's very, very cool. I'm back because I'm still alive. Hello, Cold War Chemical. How are you doing? Kenny Rebel. I may be in Stoneleigh as an 80s US trooper with my reenactment group, Lazy Company. Oh, cool, Kenny. If you're there, come and say hello. If I do make it, come and say hello. And come and say hello. And you're more than welcome to come and say hello. The children come. Yes. They do. I got a new Australian standard issue camouflage uniform. Is it the new camouflage, the new multi-pattern, or what's known as the jelly bean? I do actually have a. Did I do a video on it? I think I did do a video on it of the Australian multicam pattern. Very, very. I actually like it. It's really, really nice. Ledger wanted, yes. D Squadron were the first unit ever to get the Stinger missiles hit in battle. They were actually. The Americans gave an awful lot of SAS kit in the Falklands, basically to trial and error. They were, but yeah, there's an awful lot of. I believe there's an awful lot of things that happened that the SAS did in the Falklands that aren't being looked at. They're not being examined. They're not being studied. The Battle of Pebble Island. South Georgia, unfortunately, there was a helicopter crash that killed about 20 of them, I believe. A simple accident. There was also, I believe, there was planned raids on the the Argentinian mainland that never came out. Yeah, so it's a very, I like their history about there in that conflict. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to getting it done. Have an is proved is for 2A1A on my way. On my way to me soon, please God. I hope you do. If you do get it, please send me lots and lots of photos. I'm very happy today because I finally found an original handset for my BC1000 radio. Can't believe they're so hard to find and expensive when you do find them. Yeah, they do. They are getting radio things. I actually have my radio. I have one of the radios sitting here. I have my PRC6 sitting here. I have these converted with a civilian radio on the inside of them, so they're very, very easy to work, pretty much. And that way, in Ireland, it's very restricting. You need hash licenses and stuff like that. So the way it's done with the radio on the inside is you don't need a license because it's just a little regular walkie-talkie. And the range is good enough too. This one I can actually fit a headset to as well. I do have a headset for someone. I need to find a better way to actually display these because my 77 set is just sitting there and this is just sitting on top of it. So yeah, I was thinking about making some type of a hanger to fit them to the wall so I could hang them up that way. But we'll wait and see. The provided set comms, strings and turbines all from Delta Forces because they wanted to test them in the field. Yeah, they did. They all, but believe it or not, little interesting fact I did not know. The British SAS were using this ever before the Americans were. Not fair. Now this is an airsoft replica. It is a very good one though, YouTube, so don't get all upset. But yeah, so there you go. That's what that is. But yeah, I did not know until I was talking to people that they were the first ones to actually start using those. Part 3 of my webbing series is up now on the channel. 1937 pattern, late war, Northwest Europe. I haven't seen it. I'll have to have a look at it, Jake. I'll have some time later on and have a look. The new Austrian Army uniform is called Tarzanzak New. Very cool. I must look it up actually. Malaysia first, I presume were or are used by UK. I think. Yeah, the Malaysians. I think they did use the M16 in the later end of Malaysia. But I haven't done much history on Malaya, the Malayan emergency yet. I need to, because some friends of mine do portray it, and I possibly will just put a simple kit together for it, but I haven't done it yet, so we'll wait and see. Only went up about an hour ago. Okay, cool, Jack. I'll have a look at it in a while. How about Belgian YouTuber History Secrets having his MG42 ran over by an armoured car at a reenactment? Oh no! I didn't see that neither. He is not happy. Oh my god. Well, I hope whoever's driving the car will be paying for it, or the show organizer should be paying for it, because accidents like that should not happen. Tamzuk new means new camouflage. Oh, very cool. Simple way of doing it. Webbing. Webbing series Jack. You've been crushing them again. Oh, okay, cool. Air military collectibles. Was blowpipe away again? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Cold War chemicals. He's got a video up on the channel showing it happening. Oh no. What's an MG42 worth? A lot of money. That's a couple of thousand. If it was original, a couple of thousand, this it was. That's horrible. Was it? Can't remember. Was it Yorkshire Wartime Experience this year, or was it the Victory Show that during? I think it was. It was the Victory Show actually during the mock battle. The pyrotechnic lads did something wrong, or they messed up somewhere. Like you're supposed to spray fields if it's on in the field and stuff like that. You're supposed to have the field damp. It's from what I know from being at shows and things like the field is supposed to be damp, but Victory, it was absolutely roasting. The ground had been, England had been, the ground was rock hard, and they had harvested the field, so it was down to stubble, and that's where they set up the battle. And when they set off the pyrotechnics, they burnt half the field. They had to they had to stop the battle for a while and take out some of the reenactors, and actually uh, quench the fire and then start the battle again. I can't remember. Was there a reenactor burnt or some kit burnt? I can't remember exactly, but yeah, the accidents do happen at reenactments. But yeah, to have a machine gun run over is not a good thing. We'll have to have a look. See, just sounds painful. Yeah, it does sound painful. At least $4,000. That's not nice. Ralph, hello. How are you? Sorry, I seem really cool. Cold War chemical. Oh, the manpad. Yeah, the from what the SAS were using during the Falklands, the manpad. They used full fuel pyro. They were idiots. A full limber of £17 almost went up. Oh God. Was that at Victory or was it at? I think it was Victory. I'm almost positive it was Victory. Movie tip of the week: Overlord, 1975 on Wartime on YouTube. Thanks, Ralph. We'll have to have a look at that. The US World War II M40 armor car clipped the gun open top cover and bent it all the way forward. The driver and the reenactors deny all responsibility, but he captured it on camera. Well, that's good. That's good if he captured it on camera. At least he has some comeback. What's so many shooting channels on YouTube? Why do you get worried about when you show a replica? Because, believe it or not, you cannot show. I've gotten them because I'm not going to say I've gotten a warning, but I've been sent what you can and can't do. Because of my channel's reenacting history and stuff like that. If I'm using a movie prop, if you even look at famous gun guy, Demo Ranch, he will only talk about firearms on one specific channel. If he's talking on his other channels, he won't even say what they are. He'll call them pew pews, because those channels are very, very restricted. So for me to do what I have to do, I have to say that it's a prop, whatever, things like that, or it's a airsoft gun, because I'm not that type of channel. I'm not designed that way, because an awful lot of them have age restrictions on their channels. I don't, so that's why we have to do it. Hope that answers your question, Jude. Oops, I'm late. Sorry, I didn't know about Sunday. No problem, Andrew. You're more than welcome. I believe I was late a small bit. Yeah, it was the victory show. It was the victory show that they blew up. Wouldn't insurance cover anything? I have public liability cover for sure. I think public liability doesn't cover your kit. I think it only covers if you get injured or if somebody gets injured on your display. I don't actually think it covers kit. So yeah. Security at Sainsbury's is here. Hello, Daddy. Herefordshire Regimental Museums. Daddy, look what I found for you today. There you go. That's going in your little care box. I don't even know what that is. I saw Greyhound 2020, John. It was a cool movie. Cool war movie. Only those symbols on the U-boat towers were made up. They were German decals from AliExpress painted on a U-boat. Yeah, Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks was in it, and I don't know was he the director or the writer, but he is actually a huge World War II buff, believe it or not, and he has a big collection as well. So I really, really love when I hear about him doing war movies, because I know they're going to be good, because he does put in an awful lot of effort. Let's look, Saving Private Ryan, Band of Brothers, Pacific. He was involved in that. Greyhound. Whenever he does do a war movie, or a period war movie, even if the storyline isn't correct and things like that, if it's a small bit fantasy, I guarantee you the kit and equipment is pretty much bang on. It's more about on stream, Jude. Sorry, where are we going? Yeah, you have to be very, very careful what you say and what you don't do. And then with the stream as well, the stream can get in a lot of trouble, as Jake was saying. Trigger words, God intended, yeah. Pun intended. So would showing my SLR in the bear video screw up my channel? It won't screw up your channel. But I don't want to get age restricted, so because obviously I'm trying to teach the younger generation, younger people, and stuff about history and things like that. So that's the reason why I do it, is because I do not want to get age restricted. Doing it once off and stuff like that, it won't have an issue. But like that, just follow the guidelines. Follow the guidelines they say when you're putting up stuff or when you're doing stuff about that. So yeah, Kenny Rebel, I believe the History Secrets guy is Dutch, and the event happened in Belgium. Yeah, he is Dutch. Yeah, I have watched a lot of his stuff. He's got a huge collection. I think he's got 2 rooms or 3 rooms or something like that. Yeah, but that's a bit of a kick in the stones if that happened. When you upload a video, clicking the not for kids box should solve any problems. It does and it doesn't, because if you click not for kids, believe it or not, it's they're all sent into an algorithm, or they're all sent into an algorithm, and it checks for trigger words, as Andrew was saying, and things like that. And if it finds a trigger word, it can go screwy altogether. Then as well, when you're uploading stuff, especially the likes of music, photos, things like that, you can get copyright strikes even if you did get them off the internet. So you have to be careful of that. So it's not that easy. You do have to watch little bits and bobs and see what you're doing. Firearms and streams are no thanks to nuts going on live stream shooting spree. Yes, that's one thing as well about live streams, because it happened in America. It has to be America. There's no place else that could have happened. But a guy went on a live stream on a rampage, and yeah, they don't want things like that happening again as well. I do that with my videos too, CJ. Set it as not for kids. Yeah, if you set it though as not for kids, um, you it sort of limits for what, like you. If you do it your way, I don't care what you do it your way. Um, but when you limit it for kids, you're especially teenagers, people with an interest and stuff like that. Um, I believe you're not getting to the public. You like that's my take on it. Is I'm trying to teach people and trying to spread the word and the love of the collecting and the hobby and stuff like that. So that's just me. But there you go. Andrew Johnson, it saves a lot of unnecessary hassle. People know they are history channels, show items, historical contents. Exactly. YouTube are a bit of a pain in the rectum when it comes to certain things. Cold War Chemical, it's mainly on streams. They don't like it. Yeah, that's right to a certain degree, Jake. It is. Yeah. Just looked at my policy and it is extra for equipment cover. Yeah, it is. I know it's extra for equipment cover. Living History UK. Shalom, Steve. Hello, how are you? A humble collector on YouTube collects German deck cards in World War II and cause of death and less often put on the deck card. Yes, you will not find you won't find the deck card. I have 4 or 5 of them up there in the frame. Um, I have a video on it actually, I believe. Uh, and you'll hear an area they were killed. You'll just see on it died of wounds and stuff like that. Little tips for you. If you do see things like that, like what they died from, and a specific killed at Stalingrad, that sort of gives a little away that it's not 100% correct. Guy in New Zealand did it too on Facebook Live. Oh, okay. I know there was some nut job that was after doing it. You need to do disclaimers saying it is a prop deactivated as and is uploaded era Cold War collectibles. I can't remember off the top of my head the rigs and rows about it, but I know there is a lot of crap in relation to it. When I did public displays, it was mandatory to and common sense to have public liability insurance. Most companies still cover you for the length of the event you are attending. Yeah, I am a member of the Combined History Living Forces group, which Andrew is one of the bosses or one of the main organisers of it. And we pay, I can't remember, is it like £12 a year, 12.50, something like that. And that covers me for when I go to England, even if I'm not with the lads. I hope to be with them now twice next year. But it covers me that I have insurance. And then when I'm let to live in History UK, lads, I think they have their own stuff sorted as well. So we're covered all directions, and an awful lot of organisers. If you are a group, I don't know about individuals, but as a group, they look for uh, group groups to produce their insurance. So yeah, it's a very very good thing to have. It is, because it stops little mishaps and things like that, which is very good. Um, I just can't. I just don't understand how. Like, were you showing off? What were you doing that you managed to clip and damage an MG42 with a vehicle? They should have had safety props or a safety brief beforehand. I know at Yorkshire, Andrew and was it Keith? I can't remember actually who it was went down to the safety brief. I know Andrew went anyway. I think somebody else went with him. Um, for the battle that was on the last part of the show. Excuse me, every evening, and you had to have helmets if you were in the field area. I remember that. If you were on the field, sorry, or around the trenches in the field, you had to wear helmets. Um, it was very okay. We're going. This explosion is going to go off here. The vehicle is going to get here. They're going to stop. There's going to be more explosions over there. Blah blah blah. It was very set out and regimental. Um, so I presume they would have had to have some type of safety brief as well, similar to that. And I know that one was the vehicles were well away from the trenches. You weren't allowed if you were one of the guys actually on the field. If you were actually on the field, you weren't allowed in front of the vehicles until the vehicles went static. The vehicles weren't allowed to reverse until all the reenactors were off the field. So yeah, so there was an awful lot of safety precautions in place. I don't know why they didn't have it there. Oh well, not much fun though. Do you have Bundy Flecktarn cap? I don't. That's one thing I don't actually have. I don't have any Flecktarn stuff. Um, I sort of stopped a Cold War taken down on the wall in relation to German stuff. So I don't have any Bundeswehr stuff. Yeah, helmets and ear protection are a minimum. Yes, I don't know. Was I wearing ear protection in Yorkshire? I possibly was. I can't remember. Jim did Jim pop in? Oh, hello, Jim. Hello. How are you? How are you keeping? I spent a lot of time in the field these days. Do you, Jim? I actually was reading a book the other day. I was quite interested. That it was about the Great Escape. I did not know until I read this book and I went looking for the documentaries. But a team of archaeologists actually went to where the prison camp is and excavated the trenches or excavated the tunnels, found the entrances, and stuff like that. Yeah, it was very, very interesting. So yeah, I enjoyed that documentary. And Andrew, and a walk around of the field showing where props was and what to do if working with the vehicles. Yeah, so I don't know why how that accident happened. Look, accidents happen. It's not good, but it happens. Hey Ralph, hello, how are you? Are those foxholes at the victory show pre-dug or do the reenactors dig? They're pre-dug to a certain extent, basically. They come in with a bulldozer and the man just digs a hole. But an awful lot of guys then, the reenactors will come and they'll improve on them. You'll see some guys revetting them, as in they'll put timber up on the edges and stuff like that. Some guys will stay in them all weekend long. They'll put roofs over certain parts of it. They'll put tents around them. They do an awful lot of work with them. So when you get there, it's basically a hole in the ground. I remember on Thursday, we arrived. We arrived Thursday, and the show started Friday, and the boys came to deal with the trench, and they arrived, and it was just a big hole, and they spent 4 or 5 hours, possibly less, digging it out and getting it ready for what they wanted. So when they got there, it was literally just a hole. So yeah. What have we got? Jim Timber, do you have a metal detector? Actually, yeah, I must look into the laws. The laws in Ireland and with metal detecting is very strict as far as I remember. I think you have to have planning permission, or not planning permission. You have permission from a landowner owner. You can't go around historical sites, if I remember correctly. And if you do find something in the historical department or a historical um, note, historical presence, um, it automatically belongs to the state. Like the Book of Kells, which was found in a bog. The brooch of Tara, a Tara brooch, that was found in a bog as well. I think they were both actually found by metal detectors, but they were automatically handed over to the state. Now you do get a reward, but what you get, I don't know. But yeah, uh, yeah, I gave you some of those foam earplugs. You had a blast with. Oh yes, that's right. I did actually. I like that MP40. If I go over next year, actually, I'm probably even going to buy ammunition for it that I can use it. Daga, 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 daga. My underpants can detect anything. Living History UK, Juice Stallion's bit of both. The ones we utilised were there from the last year, and we also made them our home. Yes, that's right. That was at the Victory Show. Um, yeah, we had to dig them out a small bit. They were there. They were pre-made, but we still had to dig them out a small bit. I hope actually this year we get the same trenches because it makes things a lot easier. Plus, we know what trench is for what. Like me and Danny know what our trench is. Chuckles know which are his trenches. Um, Steve and who was it? Steve again. Dave and Joe Bristol. They had awful trouble with their trench because Steve is 6 foot odd, and Joe is not the same. So they had to lengthen their trench. When they had to widen it as well because it was a bit intimate the first night. But yeah, they sorted it out. It was a good fun and a bit of enjoyment. Uh, you need a bad accident once in a while to keep it fresh in the memory. Yeah, but you still don't like seeing guys having accidents. You still don't like things happening at shows. That shouldn't happen at shows. Uh, they shouldn't happen at shows. Like, I mean, you shouldn't blow up a field with a load of reenactors in it and nearly set them on fire. Like, you're a pyrotechnic company providing a service, and you should know these things could happen and will happen. Um, you must be considered bleeping, Jim. Unpopular opinion. Though. It is an unpopular. Look, it is. Bleeping is the polite way to put it. Too many lads on the field don't wear ear protection. I got dirty looks off a few lads when I let my rifle off. Not like I'm shooting into their ears. Yeah, that's one thing I noticed actually as well as an awful lot of they wouldn't have earplugs. Yeah, well they would also be deaf. Um, after a lot of the time. And believe it or not, they did wear earplugs. There was a form of earplug during the first or during the Second World War. Anyway, I'm not sure about the First World War, but there was a form of earplug, so they did have hearing protection. Jim Timber 2, you have balls of steel. Uh, old spec World War Two MP40 on DMB. Whoo! On DMB military list, £12,000. I would like to be chipping out for that. I would not like to be chipping out for that. Holy crap, that's steep. That is steep. In your opinion, what could be done better while making season 2 and 3 of the SAS Rogue Heroes with absolutely has to be included. That cannot. Where do we start with Rogue Heroes? If any of you know what Rogue Hero, don't know what Rogue Heroes is. Rogue Heroes is a TV series that is on the BBC portraying the original SAS in North Africa. Paddy Mayne and Dave Sterling are not portrayed correctly. They're not portrayed correctly. Yes, Paddy Mayne had a reputation for being in a row every now and again and being a bit of a party animal, but not to the extent that he was in the movie. if you talk to the originals, or if you listen to the originals, if you talk to any veterans and stuff like that, there was never any question about his sexuality or anything like that. They didn't know. It's actually believed he was actually bisexual. Not that that makes any difference, because it doesn't. He wasn't sectarian. His best friend was actually from the south, and was a Catholic. Or sorry, was from the Catholic area. Was his best friend was. He was really, really upset when he was killed. He had other Irishmen in the SAS from all nominations. It didn't matter. The timeline of stuff that happened in Africa is completely off. Dave Sterling's portrayal of being captured, or the portrayal of Dave Sterling being captured, is completely wrong. Jock Lewis didn't die how they portrayed he died. Jock Lewis got hit with a 20mm shell into the leg and bled out within minutes. Jock Lewis is fairly accurate of what they have portrayed of him in the movie. When you read books and stuff like that, how his mannerisms were and stuff like that. I reckon if they do, I reckon they could do up this. We were talking about this actually the other day, and Danny brought it up in conversation. If they do more series on it, Series 2 would possibly be the refit and being sent to Italy. Series 3 will be North Africa, and I reckon there could be a Series 4, was when after the war they were used as Nazi hunters. If any of you read any history or know any of the history of the SAS during the Second World War, they actually were the first guys to liberate Bergen-Belsen, the concentration camp. They were sent in ahead of D-Day. You had Ballbasket, Hounsworth, and there was other few operations. The SAS suffered an awful lot of war crimes during the Second World War, especially in Europe, where Hounsworth, I think it was 20 odd guys, were summarily shot and murdered, executed without, whereas they should have been given protections as being prisoner of war. I think altogether it was over, if I remember correctly, it's close to around 80 or 100 SAS men were executed during, because of Hitler's famous no commando order. So yeah, so that's where I think, and how can I see them getting it better? Is they need to listen to historians. They need to listen to like Dave Lewis, the writers of the books. They need to start listening to veterans. Their historical person made simple mistakes. You see guys with Queen's Crown badges. They didn't have Queen's Crown, they had King's Crown. The hats, their props department or their wardrobe department just needs to do an extra bit of research and small little bits and pieces. It can be made great, and they can get the historical side. If you, in my opinion, they can get the historical side correct, they can get the drama correct, because it's a massive drama story as well. Like the SAS during the Second War, and people will watch it. It's entertaining without having to embellish it. So they need to just one or two minor little details and change it a small bit. Jimmy, you speaking Irish? if you are briefed to wear earplugs, you can't be funny with people for not doing exactly. I mean, if you're told to wear them, wear them. It doesn't make any difference. Jake Brown Collection. There's EU spec MP40. Is just under $4,000. Jesus. Stuff is getting up and up and up and up balls, Ralph, for something. Speaking of accidents last year at Whitby War Weekend, a reenactor shot his thumb off with a musket. Well, that's his own fault. Sorry, you shouldn't have your friggin' hand over a musket. That's down to personal training and stuff like that. But yeah, it's not nice. I am. Somebody was telling me in water some Napoleonic reenacting because they physically go through. They don't actually put in a ball, but they do put in the powder and they ram it down. And was it a Napoleonic or a Civil War event? I can't remember. But he left a ramrod in it. Whatever, dose of madness for a few minutes, but left the ramrod in it, put it up, and skewered the lead, thankfully, through the shoulder with his ramrod. So yeah. Jim Timber 2 meatballs are best with ketchup and mustard. Best time he could start a YouTube channel. Tap the button. Yeah, exactly. I like my meatballs. Oh God, Jim! Children's channel. Bisexual? Does you mean by everything sexual? Nah, not quite. Sterling was a Scotsman. I am from the banks of Loch Muck. Why dirty? Sorry. Absolutely, Kenny. We need more action in the SAS Rogue Heroes series, I think. Yes, but there was an awful lot of raids and stuff that didn't happen, or that happened that weren't put in the movie or the series. I suppose the famous thing about Paddy Mayne, because I have done an awful lot of reading and an awful lot of stuff on Paddy Mayne. Paddy Mayne was him. There was two other guys. I'm not going to mention their names because it doesn't make any difference. But there was two other guys who survived the war as well, I believe. But they were attacking an airfield. Paddy found a building. No, supposedly it happened. Supposedly it didn't happen. Whatever. Some people say that it came from a guy. The story came from somebody that wasn't there. Some people say the story came from people that were there. Some people Paddy told the story himself. Now, Paddy was a soldier. Paddy knew what he had to do. Paddy knew that we have to fight the Germans and you have to take the gloves off and sometimes and not be nice and things like that, right? But the veterans will tell you they would follow Paddy Mayne to hell and back because he would do. Number one priority was the safety of his men. Yes, he was a bit of a lunatic, but that did not mean his men had to be lunatics. Number one priority when he planned all his missions and stuff like that later on when he became the commanding officer of number one SAS, he was there to make the mission as safe as possible for his men. He would also write to the families of his men if they were missing, if they were killed, or if they were injured, or anything like that. He would write to the families of his men to try and give them as much information as he possibly could. But getting back to the North African thing, yes. Okay, well, I'm going to say yes. It did happen because it's out there that it happened, right? So himself and two other guys, they broke into this canteen. There was a lot of engineers, pilots, and stuff in there, and Paddy and these two other guys just opened up and sprayed the place, right? Now, there's two reasons that Paddy did that. One, you're behind enemy lines, you can't take prisoners. They're going to slow you down. You have no place to house them. You have no place to feed them. You have no place to do anything. Two, they're legitimate military targets. Yes, they're in a bar. You don't know if they're armed or they're unarmed or whatever, right? But these guys are pilots and engineers. Tomorrow morning, they're going to be fighting the war and trying to kill you as well at the same time, right? So there's my take on it. Now, there is another aspect to that. The reason they reckon Paddy Mayne did do that was because Paddy Mayne and some of the other guys attacked a airfield previous to this. This is why the storyline is wrong. Previous to that airfield, right? And they came across a British pilot that had been tortured, badly tortured. And supposedly, Paddy, they had taken German prisoners. Paddy asked the pilot, were any of them the people that tortured you? And the pilot picked out people, and Paddy handed him his pistol, and then went and dealt with the guys that were after torturing him. So they reckon Paddy could have been a bit bitter over that when he seen that guy being tortured. That's why he did it to those guys in that other airfield. So yeah, so the timeline is off, and there's certain things that were left out and stuff like that. So there you go. Only the best of captions table. Andrew. John, can't you write a letter to the BBC and set up your own military advisor to the SAS series? I wish I could. It's not that easy. Ever been on the HMS Belfast? I was years ago, 20 odd years ago. I was on the HMS Belfast. I'd love to get over there again to it. Just normally now when I go to the UK, it's specifically for a show or an event or something like that. So I just don't get time to go touristy around the place. Unless I'm with Danny and then we go off and do strange stuff. We went to the SAS graveyard. Last time I was over there, we were going to go to a museum, but we were restricted with time and stuff like that. So we just did a movie day, film day, where we did all those videos that you see. There's 2 left. They will hopefully be up tonight because I messed up and did them wrong. But yeah, we did all those videos in one day. That's what we did because Danny has a huge collection. Very, very good friend of mine, best man of mine. He still has lots of stuff. He has a Wimic that we'll do a video on the next time we go over. He's still got more SAS stuff. He's an entire German collection. He has medal collection. His main thing is medals. He has Afghan and Iraq collection is huge as well. So yeah, so he's a lot of stuff to cover. Danny XMP40. Oh, Danny's there. he's still floating around the place. Wasn't there a reenactment in America a few years ago where a live round was mixed in with the blanks? It was caught on video. I wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me. It would not surprise me. Sure, we all know about that. Poor, was she a videographer or a cameraman or a camerawoman or something anyway? But she was shot by accident by the main actor in the friggin' thing. Because the armor and safety precautions and stuff on the set were absolutely atrocious, apparently. So there you go. Got to go. Cold War Chemical, hello. See you later. I hope you enjoyed the live stream. I was lucky to get my all steel MP40 model gun when I got it. They're unobtainable now. I have it converted to fire 9mm blanks. There is I don't know what the regulations are with blank firing in Ireland. Can you have a blank fire even? I'm not sure. Boy, he's greedy. I thought Sterling came across as too childish in the series. Sterling is played completely wrong. Sterling and Paddy Mayne are played completely wrong. Jock Lewis is probably I won't say the best, but he's the truest character to what you read about him in books and what the veterans have said about him and things like that. I have noticed that most British Special Forces soldiers are from Scotland and Ireland. Do you think that it was because they had tougher lives in the childhood than the English sad case like me? I don't know. Irish have always made good soldiers. And an awful lot of people don't believe, or it's not that they don't believe, but they don't realise Wellington was Irish. Okay, he was Anglo-Irish. He was but he was still Irish. Montgomery was Anglo-Irish. Uh, Paddy Mayne, the founder of the Argentinian Navy, was Irish. The 16th or the 69th New York from the American Civil War were all Irish. You had three Irish divisions during the First World War. You had the 16th, 36th. Oh, I shouldn't get that wrong. 36th, 32nd, 32nd, 30 something anyway. Ulster Division. You had the 16th and you had the 10th. Boer War. The Irish fought so well in the Boer War and the Zulu Wars that Queen Victoria formed the Irish Guards because she wanted an Irish Guards regiment. You have the Wild Geese, which were a lot of Irish guys that went and fought as mercenaries in Europe. Lord Wellington, at the time of Napoleon, they estimate that between 80 to 90% of the army was Irish, which is scary when you think about it. So the Irish have been around a lot. The famous raid on Tirpitz, one of the VC winners in that was Irish. He was a diver in the Royal Navy. There is an awful lot of Irish history out there that needs to be shared. Scotland is Celtic. Oh, sorry. Scotland is the Celtic way of They're similar nationalities too, or similar cultures. They're all Celts. The Irish are Celts, Scots are Celts. So it's the same race of people, pretty much. In 1922, when the Irish regiments were disbanded after, was it 1920 or 1922? I think it was 22 when the Irish regiments were disbanded and amalgamated into were amalgamated into other regiments in the British Army for guys who wanted to stay. A lot of guys went to Scottish regiments, went to the Argylls, went to the Highland Light Infantry, went to the Royal Scots, because the cultures were the same. And and you do to this day as well. You can still the last Irish First World War veteran was actually in the Black Watch, believe it or not. So there you go. Hereford Regimental Museum, so it is Mick Jagger. Won't say you're wrong, Danny. Ralph, I'm also watching the German series Babylon Berlin at the moment, season 4. Sees this SA in Berlin coming into conflict with the SS police during 1931. Don't know, Ralph. I've never seen that series. I don't know if it's on Irish TV. Clinic was Irish. I had an Irish coffee. Scottish people speak Gaelic, pronounced garlic. Irish people speak Gaelic as well. Irish is known as Gaelic. I love my country's mother's tongue. Oh yeah, Gaelic, Irish. Díg with Constatu Lens Gaelic. In Lens Gaelic, I believe it or not, I actually speak to my family in mostly Irish. I have Ponglish, half Irish, half English. Lads, an hour has gone already. It is 8 o'clock. So I normally give you the last 5 or 10 minutes to find, if any of you have any final questions, start throwing them at me. So there you go. Speak something now. I just did. Ken Fall. Horla. What would you like me to speak? There's also a young Indiana James Charles episode Set in Ireland in 1916, Indiana Jones goes to Ireland before enlisting in the Belgian army. I, I, I remember that series vaguely, but I don't ever remember getting into it. I must look it up actually. It's on YouTube. It just says it there. Series 1, North Africa. Series 2, late North Africa, Italy. Series 3, French Europe, or French Germany. Series 4, Nazi hunters. Pretty much exactly what I was saying. Danny, thank you very much for your stay. And there you go, Danny. There you go. There you go. There's your present on the way to you. I love the old languages. Go more. Speak softly to me. Oh, Colleen Jess. Yeah, actually, that's what you can say. You can. So if you're in a bar and you want to say a girl is good looking, say Colleen on shot Tasha Gohana Jess. So there you go. That girl over there, she's very nice or she's very good. There you go. Swear words in Gaelic. There actually are very few swear words in Gaelic. It's more, it's less about swearing and more about insulting in Irish. Um, who's Jake Brown? Yes, who is this Jake Brown we speak of? The Railway Gun episode is great. I must look that up actually. That's the stamps. Herefordshire Regimental Museums. Nazi is an Indonesian food. Many thanks and blessings to you and your camels. Yes. May your wives produce good milk. Uh, oh yeah, Danny, you and your lads are more than welcome to go to New York, Yorkshire Wartime Experience. Facebook Police Ralph Pure. I love Beefy Boys in Irish. Oh, come Beefy Boys, go Hannah Jess. Beefy Boys is lovely. It's small on Beefy Boys. I love Beefy Boys. Um, but the best trenches fell. I must look up. I must look it up. There. I can remember. Never remember getting into that series. I know a whole bunch of swear words in Polish. I know a whole bunch of swear words in Polish as well because 90% of my time at work is the problems are Polish people on flights. If any of you don't know, I work at an airport, and yeah, so we hear the swear words quite a lot of them. No, sorry, I take that back. Not 90% of the problems are Polish. They're everywhere, and anything can be a problem. Um, blessings be upon you, your horse, and your harem remain fertile. Yeah. Cheers, Andrew, with that. What as what as though. The lads, Danny, the Yorkshire Wartime Experience, either the Cold War or the vast. Sorry, they don't actually. The lads have two Cold War jeeps that they put up in the Cold War field. That normally somebody stays up there and mans them, and the rest of them are World War Two. So there you go. We need a new brew bitch. We'll bring Jake. He can be the brew bitch. We'll dress him up as a French maid for the weekend. He won't mind anyway. It's fine. It's perfect. It's okay. It's a bit strange as our Jake, but God bless him. We love him. He's a bit harmless every now and again. Yeah, World War Two. Yeah, we will be there as World War Two. I did say it to Danny actually about bringing the jeep and stuff. So we'll wait and see. Get the T bomb done in the morning. Yeah, it's rumors. Uh, I know the Polish Monte Cassino one. I've never actually seen the Polish Monte Cassino one. What do you think about Putin and his special? I'm not even going to get involved in it. I don't get involved in politics. Jesus, I don't. I try not to get involved in politics, but it's mad. All depending on can do just a long old row with Jeep. Yeah, see, the thing is, Jenny, we can plan it. We can plan it. We can sort it. We'll figure it out, Danny. We'll figure it out. It'll be worth it, Danny. It'll be worth it. It'll be weekend away. Chuckles will be up for it. Stephen, Pete, and them will probably be up for it as well, depending on what they have planned. Although it does fall awkward for them because they have an awful lot of shows around there as well. Then, yeah, we can get it all planned. Yes, we can. So that would be, yeah. Sure. Well, Andrew, I'll talk to Danny and try and twist his arm, and we'll see what happens. Right, guys, I better log off. It's 8:05. I'm hungry, so I'll talk to you all next week. We will be back on a Friday at 8 o'clock next week. There will be videos coming up this evening. There definitely will be one. So enjoy, guys, and enjoy. Have a great weekend, and I will see you all same time, same channel. Well, not same time because it's not Friday 8 o'clock, but you know what I mean. Cop on and stop being stupid, John. Right, guys, enjoy. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Stay away from COVID and all that type of stuff. And see you next week.